Had a chance.
I know.
It was just July.
That was pre-46.
Just 1 month. We didn't meet.
That's a good old days.
August,
It was 1 month, 1 year. That was it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Steven was like, we're not meeting. Okay,
Steven's ready
the Southern meeting would be September 19th. So again, that is moving down. And again, per request of the Vermont State Board Association, we added an additional meeting in October. So that's October 2nd was the additional meeting. That was with the doodle poll. That's what people came up with. So October 2nd was that additional meeting. And I think the strategy there was we can't comment on the plan until we hear from all the different regions. So we need a work day to actually go through and work through the plan. So we would not be, up until October 2nd, we wouldn't be making pronouncements as a board on what we like or disagree because we need to hear from the whole state. So, I mean, I'm going to say this about 5 times every meeting, is that we're not going to say anything about any region until we get to October 2nd. So that's October 2nd is that work day to really go through the meat of the plan. I would say until then, it's all about just understanding the plan and understanding the context. Then we have our regular meeting October 17th.
Wait, can we just go back?
Yeah, October is 2nd?
2nd.
So it's a Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what the doodle poll, that's what people came back and said they could do.
And anything else after that for?
Yeah.
October 2nd, and then October 17th is our regularly scheduled meeting. Hopefully we'll have something because we spent the whole working day on the 2nd, hopefully we'll have something as more of a product to go over. And then I think the want from the Vermont State Boards Association, and Nicole's here, she can correct me if I'm wrong, is to have some sort of clear vision for people by early October if possible, because that's when budgeting begins. And that's one of the things with trying to make change is that we have to respect the policy when how budgets are made. They're made in October. So we have to try to get this done to you by then. And so there's something to work with and think about. So the idea is by the 17th to have a clearer vision for our school boards of the state. And then when we go to our, we had put on there November 28th. I think we canceled that one. But
Make it the
We are
21st
on
then?
for the 14th.
we are on for the 14th, yes.
14th of November?
Yep.
Okay.
And,
That's our normal monthly meeting.
yep.
No.
Well, and it's different
week earlier.
due to Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right.
Thanksgiving.
So you think the 28th we don't need?
I think maybe we leave it on our calendars just right now. Hopefully we won't, but we should leave that there so we can meet the deadline. Okay.
And then on the 19th of December is our last
Right,
meeting
is our
of the
next,
year.
end of year.
Regular.
Yeah, regular,
monthly meeting.
That's
and
a
then
party,
we're moving.
right?
Yeah, end of the year party.
Maybe. We'll see. All right, so are people okay with the calendar review?
I want, sorry, just to be a broken record, I'm just gonna add again that September 19th is Yom Kippur. So for, if we're talking about, I don't know how many people that affects, but it's, holiest day on the Jewish calendar. So in terms, I know I won't be here, but also how that might affect people being able to attend a meeting. Just want to throw that, mention that. I'm just being concerned that we have a quorum, just making sure enough of us are here.
Yeah, and I think we have to see how new appointments figure into and
Schedules, right?
Yeah, so with everybody here, I do think it's imperative for making sure we have a quorum to make sure, to mark these dates. We have a lot of work moving forward.
If we have dates that we know we will not be able to attend, is it worth giving Suzanne that so maybe she could start keeping some sort of record of oh wait, this is a date that looks like people have conflicts? Yeah.
I've signed up for another year of coaching, and I've let the athletic director know about my conflict, so hopefully he schedules games around it. Practices aren't a big deal, so
Okay.
I'm pretty confident, but I've signed up for 2 more years, and then I'm retiring.
So back to Yom Kippur. We won't be making any decision at that meeting,
Right,
is that
Right.
correct?
That's
Okay.
true, there'd be no voting. That'd be
All right,
good.
and then you'll be briefed on what we've learned.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
And I was gonna talk about this a little bit later about reading assignments. And
Homework.
Stacey, I was gonna ask you to be central anyways, which would be looking at the August meeting.
I love August.
Okay.
I'm all yours in August.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But in the meantime, it is, now we've caught up to 11:30. Are our students all here? Good? Excellent. All right, so we just bought some time at the end of the meeting also.
Good job.
So if we could have the students come up and join us up front. I know that they're gonna set up a presentation.
I'm giving the overview and like the conclusion of that. Should I stay here or jump up
Go
there?
join them. Go join them.
Okay.
Get out, come
Yeah.
Just so you know, sometimes I forgot that student presentation.
Krista,
It's
here's-
so mean how
I have
aggressive
mine,
people
too.
are, so if I'm like crying, don't worry, it's a totally normal thing that happens almost every year, okay? Okay, well, don't look at me, sometimes I have to look at the ceiling.
All right,
It's
so
not bad. That's right.
one of the things when I asked Connor, you know, like, what do you want to share with your school? Definitely want a student panel and talk about some of the things that are happening here. And I think the culminating is it all goes back to Act 77. So Connor, if you want to just introduce that and then have your peers introduce themselves, just for the
Got it.
record.
And I think we're actually introducing ourselves in the presentation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we have a short presentation prepared,
Perfect.
and we're kind of going down the line with the different topics that we're involved in. We'll be just giving like a short presentation about each of them, and then after that, if we have time, we'd like to just have a little panel where you can ask us any questions if you have.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Take it easy on them.
So we've just
Take it
prepared
easy
this
on
little
us, don't
presentation,
Yeah.
kind of about Act 77, the different initiatives at Rutland High School relating to that, and specifically also relating to the education quality standards. So Mr. Olson was kind enough to make this wonderful slide. So I'll be giving the overview, just starting off. So we just like to take a little look at the past decade at Rutland High School. So these are some of the initiatives that Rutland has taken on, and you'll see some familiar words like project-based learning, proficiency-based learning, flexible pathways, personalized learning, and all of these things have kind of followed the trend of different innovative practices in the educational world. Some of them have been implemented because of federal or state rules, while others were done out of just the initiative of the administration or teachers or students around high school. So this is kind of just a brief overview of the past decade. And then before we get into it, it's kind of important to look at our vision statement because we think it aligns well with education quality standards and kind of will help you understand the different initiatives that we talked about today. So Rutland's vision statement is that we cultivate a passionate, diverse, and resilient community of critical thinkers who learn with a purpose, create innovative and responsible solutions, and lead lives of integrity.
Great, Stu.
And so we also here is just kind of the language of the education quality standards, and the red arrows on the right are pointing to the parts that we'll be kind of like talking about today. So things like critical thinking, scientific inquiry and content knowledge, global citizenship, and then also transferable skills, and really focusing on that idea of taking classroom knowledge, what we're learning in class, and applying it to the real world. And so furthermore, looking at flexible pathways, we've kind of centered around the idea that there are a lot of different pathways to show your mastery of a topic or of a certain curriculum. And we do this through work-based learning, service learning, and then this evidence is also presented through different projects and things like portfolios, performances, or different exhibitions. And then finally, before I hand it off to Austin, we just like to thank the Rowland Foundation. We actually have, what is it, seven fellows? Seven fellows, several small grants, and so many different faculty at Rutland High School have been involved with the Rowland Foundation, and some of the initiatives listed below were able to kind of start with the help of different funding or ideas through the Rowland Foundation.
And that was through faculty?
Yes, that was faculty, yeah. Different Rowland fellows that were
Yeah,
named,
yeah.
yes. All right.
Yeah, so we all get a slide with a picture on it. Yeah.
School pictures on there,
Oh, yeah.
great, it's perfect.
So I'm Austin Robertson. I'm a junior here at Rutland High School. And so today I'm going to talk to you about the Global Studies concentration that's offered here at the school. And with this concentration, you get an endorsement for your diploma for colleges to look at. And it shows that you're really interested in learning about the world and how you can impact it as a citizen. And so for the past 8 years, I think, our school has kind of adopted this foundational concept from the Asia Society. And pretty much it's saying that we want to recognize world perspectives and be able to communicate ideas about taking action. And one of the biggest things in our school is that taking action piece. The school wants to teach students how we can take actions and be a better global citizen. And one of the things that our school does is send teachers down to Harvard grad school and to participate in this think tank about how to empower global citizens from students to adults in society. And so one of the big things at the school is integrating this global studies into our curriculum. And me personally, sophomore year, I read every single one of those books up there. You have authors from the Dominican Republic, Syria, and Africa. And so it's just learning about all these different points of views and learning about culture from different, like various points of views that you may not get from like American authors looking outside. And so you really integrate all these themes across with the 9th and 10th grade team. And so the course sequence of this concentration is, these are all of the like required classes that you need eventually to get this endorsement, but you're pretty much put in to global studies in your 9th and 10th grade. And so from then on, it's all optional classes, because when you give students the option, once you get into civics and British Lit and like global citizenship, you get those kids who really want to be a part of it instead of just, here's your class, you need to take this. Once you're given that option, you get the students who really want to be there and who want to thrive as a global citizen. And so one of the things that our school really likes to point out is this thing called outside the walls. It's pretty much taking the community service and the co-curriculars. It's taking the research and information that you learn inside the school and bringing it out into the community. So for the endorsement, you need at least 50 hours of community service in some globally focused area. So it can be from the community cupboard to help cleaning up parks. And the co-curriculars, I think for the endorsement you need at least 2 years of a co-curricular. So this could be clubs like Amnesty International, one of the newer clubs, New Neighbors here at Rutland. And so it's pretty much just focusing on all of the stuff you learned in school and being able to put it out into the community.
What are you guys cooking?
Yeah, what's in the wok?
It's paella.
Connor was cooking it.
We made it in Spain.
Connor would cook it.
Megan and I were in that photo. That was in our Spanish exchange.
Did it on a bigger pan?
So yeah, that's another option too for a co-curricular as an exchange student. And so one of the biggest events in the school is the ability to be able to perform and like for these exhibitions. So for sophomores, you have the Global Studies Fair, and it's bringing all the stuff you've learned inside your World History 2 class and putting it out there for other students to learn about all of these events that have impacted our world. And one of the biggest events in our school is the GIN conference, where students get this engaged learning of all these global issues and how they impact the world and how we can become more active global citizens. And me personally, I had the honor to be able to MC for the GIN conference my sophomore year. And it was a really eye-opening experience because you get to see all of these different points of views of global issues that impact everyone that you may not even learn about if you're not part of this global studies concentration. And so that's just a brief overview of what this concentration is about, what our school is trying to do to help students become better global citizens.
Can I ask just 2 quick questions?
Yeah.
What languages are